Technology is probably the factor that has impacted the most our current society in all aspects, including education. Not long ago, it was commonplace for instructors to invoke physical punishment as means for teaching manners or ethics. Nowadays, with the abundance of online resources, it is possible to explore new ways to teach old and new concepts in the most didactic ways. Abundance of teaching resources does not directly translate into ease in the learning process for the students. This is why, as part of the development of the Project Management course B605 at the University of Waterloo, a project to bring online learning resources closer to students and educators was successfully undertaken with the guidance of Teachers Without Frontiers. Then, the scope of this project is to find didactic learning materials such as Android apps, games, and videos, suitable for children in grade 3 studying general knowledge in Pakistan, and in compliance to the subject learning outcomes officially established by the Ministry of Education of the Government of Pakistan.
The project design phase was one of the most important phases of our project, and the success of this phase would determine the overall quality of the work we produced. The first step was to establish goals. We had to make sure that the conditions set out by the client were being met. Our team also had to ensure that the student learning outcomes were achieved and that the client was satisfied by the quality of resources we provided. Next, we conducted a resource assessment. A team of highly qualified graduate students satisfied the human resource requirement, while online collaboration tools that were freely available and easily accessible satisfied the requirements for collaboration tools required to complete the project. It was important for us to design a project strategy that would mitigate any unexpected challenges without switching to a contingency plan. Therefore, the strategy employed targeted every aspect of the project. Major aspects of our strategy included an early start and finish procedure, sustainable work distribution, regular quality checks, open feedback, emergency communication protocols, and addressing potential resource shortages. A two-level evaluation plan was then formulated to ensure that the project team remained on track. At the first level, the entire team would review and evaluate the work before a draft submission. At the second level, the client gave us feedback on our work, and the feedback was incorporated into future submissions. Having a good contingency plan ensures that the project team is able to tackle unexpected challenges during the project. Some of our contingencies included redistribution of work and flexible internal timelines. Our contingency analysis plan proved to be effective and allowed us to avoid setbacks to our milestones. The efficiency of our project design speaks for itself, as we have been able to complete all milestones of the project, many of them ahead of schedule.
The project team gathered the required interactive e-learning resources, including videos and games, based on the Grade 3 General Knowledge curriculum. Since the quality of the resources was one of the critical points in this project, we considered different strategies to maintain high quality. The first strategy is finding relevant and appropriate resources for students of Grade 3 in Pakistan. This was achieved by going through all the content, making sure that each link was suitable for this age group. Also, responding to feedbacks for each unit means the team revised the links provided for each item that required further consideration. Third strategy is avoiding overlapping. SLOs are very similar in some cases, so all the members were assigned to a certain number of sections and belonged to smaller groups of 2 members. When the searching process was finished, all findings of each member were reviewed by the other member of the team. It can be claimed that project milestones enable the team to track their progress at a glance. We defined 3 stages to follow our major milestones. Stage 1: Initial project conceptualization and its definition. It included the initial meeting with client Mr. Omar Fahim, which gave us the chance to share a project proposal with client meeting all the requirements. Stage 2: Project implementation. It included finding all the resources that complement the SLOs relevant to Units 1 to 4, and the results were then sent to the client based on the time schedule. Stage 3: Final deliverables. It included the submission of draft of the final report for feedback, and the feedback was then used to modify it accordingly for final report submission. It also included an animated video, which was created to introduce TWF project. On-time submission of both deliverables was possible due to team cooperation.
Here are some examples of interactive resources that we found during the course of the project.
Next, we will talk about the analysis of the data we gathered for this project, as well as the inferences drawn from this analysis. As discussed earlier, each week as the team submitted the content to the client returned the content with the feedback on the value of the content to the client. This feedback was broken up into 5 different categories. In this analysis, we assigned each of these categories a score. This score allowed us to glean valuable information about how the team performed overall with respect to the expectations of the client, as well as the preferences shown by the client for one type of resource over another. Let's start with the preferences of the client. Over the course of the project, we found out that the client prefers some types of resource over others. We obtained this information by tabulating all the feedback received against the type of resource for each case. Based on this compilation of resources out of 5, as well as the scores assigned to each category, we determined the client's preferences. Interactive quizzes and videos did not perform very well, coming in at 3.09 and 3.20 respectively. The next preferred resources were web pages and animation, scoring 3.67 and 3.82 respectively. Finally, the top 2 preferences of resources were games and Android apps, scoring a high 4.1 and 4.5 respectively. This data shows that the client has a strong preference for Android apps as well as educational web games. This conclusion is in line with the preferences expressed by the client at the beginning of the project, and was followed more closely by the team as a guiding principle. Next, we look at how our team performed overall. By closely analyzing the feedback received and the assigned scores out of 5 for each category, we determined the overall team score. From Unit 1 to Unit 3, there were 65 student learning outcomes that needed to be researched, and a whopping 162 links were submitted by the team. The overall satisfaction level of the client was high with these links, and the team scored an impressive 4.12 out of 5, which translates roughly to a feedback rating of good. One thing to note here is that this number does not include resubmitted links. Not all resubmitted links were given feedback, which is why they have not been included in this analysis. Based on feedback that we received over the weeks, if resubmitted content was also to be considered, the average score will have increased.
Our team is pleased to announce that we have successfully designed and submitted an interactive e-learning resource package to Teachers Without Frontiers. This package accomplished all the student learning outcomes outlined in the Grade 3 General Knowledge curriculum. It is composed of interactive resources featuring Android apps, games, videos, and interactive quizzes. TWF now has full access to this package to help provide a blended learning opportunity for students in Pakistan. We would like to thank Dr. Peter Carr for this incredible opportunity to learn the principles of project management by participating in a real-life project in an online collaborative environment. This experience will no doubt propel us in our careers. Our team is proud to have collaborated with Teachers Without Frontiers on this project to bring new learning opportunities to young students in Pakistan. We have strong hopes for future teams from the University of Waterloo to expand this collaboration beyond its current scope and enable open access of vital interactive content for students of all ages throughout the globe. Thank you very much for listening.